Conor McGregor versus Dustin 2. Scheduled for January what?
23rd, 2021.
23rd. Finally, everything's been signed. It was released by Conor's camp that he actually signed the papers and the bout is finalized.
There might be some fans in
So
attendance too.
the so I think Dana White is leaning towards having the fight at Fight Island. So attendance wise, and he's a stickler. Every time there's a press conference or anything like that, the UFC reporters will ask him, "Hey, will you have any attendance and anything like that?" And Dana's response every single time is, "I don't want anything less than full capacity." But beyond that, they don't really ask him what his actual motive is, right? The reasoning behind it. Is it because is it a principle thing? Like, hey, I don't want to have half the arena empty. Is it a financial thing? Is it a PR thing where he doesn't want people to think like, oh, he's not doing it full capacity, or he's doing it, but he's doing it half capacity, which also gets criticism because people say, oh, why even have that many people, right? If you have half a capacity of a 50,000 person stadium, that's 25,000 people that potentially could get sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is he also doing it for that reason? So I wonder what his actual reasoning is. I haven't seen anything where the reporter will go in depth and ask him beyond.
Well, there's only
the
like a
answer.
select few countries right now, right, where you can even be in a stadium. I think Australia is one of them. New Zealand, I think.
But in the states, United States, there's states where
if
they
he wants to have
allow.
it in the states, though, but
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is what's the reason why he doesn't want a portion of the capacity to be there? Because even a portion of the capacity does generate revenue, and I'm sure the people that do come there will pay an extra premium to compensate for whatever potential losses.
I'm just not sure how it would come across on live TV though. With like, let's say maybe if it's 50,000 people capacity, you have like 5,000 people there. I don't think it would sound as well. There'd be like dull echoes, you know. I'm not sure. I mean, there's probably ways to fix that, but even then, I'm not sure how they would.
I'm curious to know more details. It could just simply be like, hey, I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just go to Abu Dhabi, which it probably is the location for Conor versus Dustin 2. A lot of the odds makers and a lot of the public are talking about this fight, and they are essentially writing off Dustin. They are already crowning Conor as a champion, or sorry, the winner of this fight, and saying that good on Conor. He's about to go on and potentially fight for a title fight. Maybe talking about Khabib coming back, kind of ignoring and looking past Dustin, right? Which is a very, very dangerous thing because
he's fought some tough competition in the past few years where Conor has been inactive, right? So you can't really.
Yeah. Conor has been out for a very long time, and Dustin has been fighting top level
Max Holloway,
fighters,
Khabib,
and getting better. Yeah. Justin, Max Holloway, Eddie Alvarez, Khabib, the list goes on.
Yeah.
So I don't blame some people, because if you look at it on paper, Conor beat Dustin in the first fight, which was at featherweight, fairly quickly. He got in his head. He really played a mental game. That is, Conor played a mental game against Dustin. Got Dustin really aggravated, made him make mistakes, and eventually got knocked out by Conor. So I see how people could say, okay, it's just going to be the same situation. Conor's going to come up, wait for his shot, counter, and knock him out again, which potentially could happen, right? Because even though Dustin has evolved and gotten better and has all this new IQ that he's obtained from all these fights and new training, and he's much bigger now, he's at 155, he does have a similar style than he used to have. It's a much more refined and a more precise skill, but it's basically the same skill set. So I could see Conor going in there and doing something similar to the first fight, but more realistically, the way I see this fight is Dustin comes in, picks his shots, tries not to get countered, maybe goes for the takedown. I could see him go for the takedown, or at least at the least he will fake takedowns just to get Conor on his feet. Conor hasn't had a takedown attempted on him since Cowboy's fight, and that was like a half-ass takedown attempt anyways because he was all Cowboy was all rocked.
Yeah.
But I can see Dustin come in there, pick his shots, hit him with some power, fatigue Conor, take him into the 4th, 5th round, and win by decision.
Well, with Dustin Poirier, I think for sure one thing you have to take into account is that he has like a very strong chin, right? So personally, I see the fight going all the way. I don't see like a knockout happening, but if it does go to the scorecard,
but you're forgetting who's punching,
who
right?
Conor is, yeah, of course.
Who's punching? He's already knocked him out with the same power. It's the same left hand, and it wasn't necessarily his chin that he hit. He hit him in the back of the ear, which is regardless of how great your chin is, that's not your chin. That's the back of your head, right, or the side of your head. So let's not forget, Conor has power, and against Justin Gaethje, he did take a lot of shots, right? Which goes to your point, but you never know. High kicks as well. Dustin, who has Dustin faced that kicks like Conor in recent memory?
No,
Khabib
really.
doesn't kick like Conor. Max. That was Max kicks, but not that much.
Max is a boxer. That's what Max is. He's not really.
So Justin doesn't kick at all. Eddie Alvarez
Justin
not
Gaethje?
so much. Justin Gaethje doesn't kick.
No,
he
talking
does
about?
low kicks. Sorry,
Kicks,
he does low kicks.
Low kicks, yeah.
No, I'm talking about like head kicks and
kicks,
body kicks.
Yeah.
I'm talking anything below above the waist.
Yeah, that's not really Justin Gaethje.
So I still take Conor in the rematch just because I prefer I like to choose a guy that counters all the time. I do take into account the ring rust and the having momentum and being in fights more often does help you. But the thing is that Conor came in against Cowboy and looked like he had no rest at all. He came in guns blazing, and he has no problem starting fast. There's some fighters like Cowboy who don't know how to start fast, who progressively
who are slow
get
starters.
Get better as the fight goes on. Conor is the inverse, so he's better in the beginning and then he declines.
Yeah.
So
in the first 2 rounds, if you get by that Conor, then you have a much higher chance. But you're right. In the first 2 rounds, it's playing with fire, you know. So
yeah, exactly. So I could see Conor coming out right away, imposing his counter striking, throwing high kicks, right, just overwhelming Dustin, and finishing him. But there could also be Conor doing that. Dustin learned from his previous fights, moves out of the way, and outlasts Conor until like the 4th, 5th round, and maybe finishes him or gets a decision. But I lean towards more Conor finishing him.
It's basically don't fight in the middle of the ring, you know. Just don't be in the middle of the ring with Conor. That's it. If you can push me against a cage, then your chances go up like exponentially, right? So
yeah, exactly.